Your host is here for the show tonight to interview our special guest, show highlight the Allen Alford Sports Talk Show. The Allen Alford Sports Talk Show. Football, basketball, baseball, hockey, soccer, boxing, tennis, golf, and racing. The Allen Alford Sports Talk Show. The Allen Alford Sports Talk Show. Tune in for all the news and scores, reporting on the games and so much more. The Allen Alford Sports Talk Show. The Allen Alford Sports Talk Show. The Allen Alford Sports Talk Show. The Allen Alford Sports Talk Show.
Welcome, everybody, to another wonderful episode of the Allen Alford Sports Talk Show. Really appreciate you being with us. Definitely thank you for that. And definitely, we're going to have a wonderful Friday night. Appreciate you guys joining in. Definitely mad props to One Heart for God and Oliver, too. Definitely always a pleasure. It's fantastic to see you guys. You guys are fantastic, man. You know, that's why I do this for you guys. So it's awesome. Awesome. Welcome to the Allen Alford Sports Talk Show. The live chat is available. Feel free to chime in. Feel free to chat in. People have already done so already. Appreciate that tremendously. So we're going to get into the Friday night show and a lot to discuss. We're going to go ahead and talk about the NFL playoffs. I mean, here on the Allen Alford Sports Talk Show, I had to say that it was a magnificent weekend. Here on the Allen Alford Sports Talk Show, we were 5 for 5. 5 for 5 on the playoffs. It worked out pretty much the way God has given me a gift. I can tell you what's going to happen in most cases before it happens. And the playoffs was no exception to the rule. It worked out just pretty much like I expected. There was a couple of wrinkles, but the result was what I predicted. And very entertaining weekend, though. I would have to say mostly all the games were very competitive. It was exciting football. It definitely wasn't lacking that. A lot of them came down to the very end. So props to the teams that were in the playoffs and props to the teams that moving on to the next weekend. I'm going to do something special. I'm going to break down the games and explain to you exactly what happened, what went wrong. Let's start with the 49ers and the Eagles. And let me just be frank with you guys and be clear. This was a very competitive game, and this is basically what happened. Let me just get into these comments real quick. All right. So we have Yusuf. I'm doing great. Thank you for asking. Really appreciate you. Let me go into answer these comments here. Yes. Doing fantastic. Really glad to hear from you. My man already got his Orlando Storm tickets. Yes, and that's right. The Orlando Storm did change the date of the rally to Thursday, 2/5/26. He will still be there. And I'm going to talk about me and being there as well on that rally. I'm going to talk about that as well. So hold that thought. But yes, really appreciate there to see Yusuf. Going to talk about those two rallies there and a lot more. So yes, with the Eagles, this is what happened with the Eagles. I said it. A couple things have to happen. In order for the 49ers to win that game, they had to primarily do two things. They had to. Number one, you could not let Saquon Barkley, aka on the Madden cover, you could not let him go crazy. You had to somewhat contain him and keep him, under 100 yards would have been ideal. But if not at underneath that, not much more than 100 yards. You had to keep him at bay. Second thing you had to do, which was very important, is make sure that you don't let AJ Brown go deep for a long shot or a couple long bombs. You didn't have to worry about that either, because I'm going to get into that in a few moments. And the last reason why I said that you had to do 1 and 2 in order for you to do 3. At that point, if they did keep Saquon Barkley in check, and if they did not allow a long bomb to AJ Brown particularly, they were going to have a very good shot at winning this game, because then it would have came down to Jalen Hurts. And not to pile on Jalen Hurts, but Jalen Hurts, I feel, does not thrive in that middle passing game, down after down after down. He has shown that he can make a pass from here to there, but that part of his game is where it really kind of breaks down a bit. Where it helped him a lot was when he used to run a lot. I feel as if the man has done too many lifting of squats where he's kind of slowed himself down. He's gotten too muscular at the lower half of his body, where he doesn't move around that well at all. He looks like he's running with bricks. Yes, if you don't have a good angle at him, he can outrun you, but that is few and far between. Now, he wasn't Lamar Jackson before he started putting all these muscles on his legs and doing all these squats for that tush push, but he definitely was a lot more nimble and faster. He runs really slow now. Sometimes you think he has bricks on his feet. So if you can keep him throwing, which is what I said, you have a very good shot of winning this game. So, what caused them to lose this game? Let me just be frank with you. What caused the Eagles to lose the game this weekend came down to one person, and that is my man right there. That's the back, and this is the front. A.J. Brown single-handedly sank the ship for the Eagles. It reminded me, and it kind of was glaring, that in any family, any team, baseball, football, basketball, soccer, hockey, any team that you have, family, where you have one member who is a bad apple, they can literally sink the whole ship. And A.J. Brown did that this weekend. He single-handedly sunk the entire Eagles season. The man was in his feelings before the pass were thrown to him. Something was up. I don't know exactly what it was, but he wasn't feeling it, so to speak. And he was in his feelings, and you could show those balls that he dropped, those 3 passes that he dropped, were not a skill set issue. They were an effort issue. The man did not care one single bit. And it's a shame, because at the end of the day, if you're A.J. Brown, you get paid $32 million a season to catch the football, and you didn't even give guys in the UFL can outplay that any day of the week. You can't tell me that those balls were hard catches. They were not difficult catches. They were not. They were to me, it was very simple. The first ball, the long bomb, come back to the ball. Yes, it was not a perfect pass. You come back to the ball, the defender, which was double teaming you, one of them would have ran into you. You would have got a pass interference. Just by seeing the ball, playing the ball's a little on the throw, and I got to come back to the ball. One of those 2 defenders are going to run into you, and then you're going to get a pass interference at the minimum. The way that you whiffled at that ball, you probably could have caught it straight up. Drop. But what does he do? He kind of puts his hands out, pretends like he's trying to catch it, and we all know he wasn't really trying to catch the ball. There was that effort was, I can't even put it into words. That effort was not even subpar. Second ball, not a perfect pass, but this one, all you had to do was shift over a little bit to the left and try to catch the ball, attempt to try to actually catch the ball, and you catch it. The third one was okay. Now, before we get to the third one, now Nick Sirianni saw enough, goes over and gets into his face. And then he basically says, what are you doing? Like, basically, what are you doing? And let me stop right there. Most people, in this day and age, and this shows you the problem with things at this stage, and this is the issue in life right now in our society. Okay, let me explain to you what the issue is in our society. This is the head coach of a football team, of an NFL football team who's trying to win. Do you expect him to send you a DM, get on Calendly, and go ahead and make a calendar appointment? Go ahead and hit you on, you know, an instant messenger and say, hey, can we schedule a meeting together? No. He's going to get in your face right then and there and say something while it's fresh in his mind. And that's exactly what the coach did. He got in your face and basically called you out. It could have been allegedly because you were coming up the field not fast enough, which I think that was part of it. The bigger factor, I think, was those 2 drops that you did preceding to it. Gets in your face. You come back, and then the head of security gets in between you guys. And this is the reason what the problem with society is. I know for a fact that some of AJ Brown's friends are going to be like, yeah, man, he disrespected you. He disrespected you. He got in your face. How you going to take that, man? How you going to let him just disrespect you on the field like that? You see how many people watching the game? The coach is doing his job. You were not doing yours. So he called you out on it, which is clearly within the profile of what a head coach does. Take it from somebody who interviews head coaches all the time. I interviewed 2 this week. Okay? 2 in one day. You weren't doing your job. Most head coaches are going to say, what's up? Bill Parcells, any old school coach would say, what are you doing? And at that point, you would have think that he would be like, all right, I got to step up my game because obviously the coach is mad and I'm not going to get as many opportunities to keep dropping these balls because we're going to end up losing this game. And guess what happened? That's exactly what happened. He went ahead and proceeded to drop another pass. And this one was the actual best pass and the most accurate of all of the ones that he thrown the whole day. Yes, they weren't perfect passing. I'm going to get about Jalen a little bit more. But listen, that's a catch. You should, the season was on the line. You had to catch the ball at this point, and you dropped it. And that, again, this is the reason why if you pick somebody on your team and they have issues and they don't fit into the team guidelines, it can sink the entire ship. The interesting thing about the Titanic on April 14th, 1912, was that it wasn't just one person who kind of ran into the iceberg. It was one person didn't do this. The other person had their agenda. That person did this. This person was supposed to do this and they didn't do that. It was collectively a perfect storm where if one person would have done what they were supposed to do, maybe the outcome is different. And instead of it taking about 2 hours and change for the ship to sink, AJ Brown single-handedly put a hole in the ship and said, screw this, we all going down. And he just sank the whole ship. He tanked the whole season. He tanked the entire 2025 to 2026 Eagles season. This whole loss goes on him. Yes, Jalen Hurts did not make perfect passes, but he did make the passes when he needed to. And regardless of how you were feeling prior to those passes, this was a playoff game. I'm not getting enough passes, is what he was saying throughout the season. Well, you had your chance during this game. And a lot of people was watching this game. And I could tell you, the Eagles lost because they had the wrong receiver on the field. This is the reason why I'd rather take if you take it from a 0 to 12 scale, 0 to 12, you have a receiver that's a 12 level, and you have a receiver that's 8 level. I would rather take the 8 out of 10 rather than the 12 out of 10 if that 8 out of 10 is going to give me a max effort, because those balls should have been caught, even if you're an 8 level receiver, because they weren't hard catches. The most difficult plays in that game was the one that Christian McCaffrey caught, which was the play of the game, Juwan Jennings, and the other ball that Christian McCaffrey caught towards the end of the game. Those were the two most difficult plays, and those two catches were extremely difficult. They're tough catches, but they also require a lot of effort. Juwan Jennings' play, to me, that was a play of the game. That was a play of the game because when he threw the ball, he had McCaffrey open, but I was like, I don't know if McCaffrey's going to be able to catch up to that. You got him open. I don't know if you may have thrown that ball about 3 feet too far. But lo and behold, McCaffrey kept running hard, makes an over the shoulder catch, which is a very difficult catch to make because you have to judge where your hands are going to be at. And as the ball's coming over your shoulder. And he ran out there and gave it max effort and caught the ball. That other ball that was high, he jumped up there and snagged it down. Those two catches were far more difficult than any one of those three drops that A.J. Brown had. And yes, the Heisman Trophy Award winner, Devontae, he dropped the ball too towards the end of the game. That was a more difficult catch, though, than the other three balls that A.J. Brown did drop. Okay? DeVonta Smith, he did drop that ball that he should have caught. But this loss is on A.J. Brown. It's not on Jalen Hurts. It's on A.J. Brown. Because at the end of the day, those were catchable balls, and the man's poor attitude cost them this game. What he should have did, he read a motivational book on the sidelines. He should have probably read that book again before this game because any motivational book you read, even though I haven't personally read it, any motivational book you could pick up on the shelf, what it's going to tell you at some point in the book, I could bet my house on it. Give people the best version of yourself. Whatever you're going to assimilate to be, give people the best version of yourself. And A.J. Brown did not do that on that game, and that's why the Eagles are going home. And I predicted it. I got it right. Slow down Saquon Barkley, make sure A.J. Brown doesn't go deep. And guess what? A.J. Brown made that easy. And then you're up to Jalen Hurts, who, yes, he hasn't been, the quarterback we've used to seeing, but he played well enough to win this game. And he didn't get no help. He didn't get enough help, particularly from my man, A.J. Brown. That's why the Eagles are going home right there. And then we're going to go on to the next game. The Jaguar game. Okay. The Jags lost that game to me really quite early in the game. They went for a 4th and 2 instead of, this was after a kickoff fumble and Trevor was short. That was the one where they had to review it. They had to make sure Trevor, did he make it? They should have just kicked the field goal. Kick the field goal. Kick the field goal is all the Jags had to do. You just had to kick the field goal. Sometimes when playoff points are at a premium, you can't just go for every 4th and 2 or 4th and 3. I know that's the thing now, but you got to be strategic. If it's early in the game, just take the points. Take the points that are there. Take the points that are there because points are at a premium in a playoff game. You're not going to get as many opportunities. There's certain times where it makes strategic sense to go for a 4th and a 2 or 3 or 4th and 1. But to me, that was clear the Jags needed to kick the field goal. Plus, it was right after a fumble. So at least you get some points after their mistake versus no points after their mistake. Trevor short, no points. So the Jags end up losing their game. To me, that was the pivotal point. And the play of the game really was that 4th and 2. I was saying you should just kick the field goal. You should kick the field goal. And they went for it. And I said it. He was short. I said it live he was short. He didn't make that play because it's where you touch the ground, where your shin touch the ground and where the ball's in relation to it. So he was short. So should have kicked the field goal. So that's the point going forward for some of these teams is that you have to be strategic and when you do kick these field goals and when you go for it. You shouldn't just be, let me just go for it. And it's early in the game. No, you shouldn't just go for it because sometimes you leave points on the board. And those points would have made the difference in this game. And I did want to, I'm going to talk about the Jags situation a bit later, a bit more. In fact, I'll do that now. We're going to talk a little bit about that situation with the reporter after the game. And let me just pull this up here for you guys. Yeah, because just in case you don't know, let me just go ahead and pull this up here. You know, just in case you haven't seen it, but Lynn Jones, she's associate editor, and she was giving some encouraging words to head coach Liam Coen after the Jags did lose that said game, which they should have kicked the field goal, like I said. She was giving some uplifting words of encouragement to keep the head up. And you could tell by the interaction, Coach Liam Coen, he appreciated it. After watching that interaction, I thought it was sweet. I thought it was real kind of her and really nice. However, being in that press conference room, being part of the media, knowing how the culture is, knowing how people in that room are, and knowing how it's ran, I knew that people internally were going to rip her up. The overwhelming majority were going to rip her up. Lo and behold, that's exactly what happened. She went viral. She went mega viral, but and a lot of people did like it, but the people who were in the room and a lot of other media didn't like it. You know, I'll share my thoughts on it. I thought what she did was real sweet, real kind, and as a person in media, I think we need more of that. We need more people to show some compassion and things of that nature. Now, did she follow protocol? No, because she didn't. First of all, she made a statement, whether it was a positive or negative statement. They typically want you to stay away from statements. They want you to go ahead and just be very dry and Q&A. Ask a question, whether it's a positive type question, negative, whatever it is. They just want you to ask your question, and that's it. And so she didn't really follow the protocols, what they would say, the protocol. And I knew that she was going to get ripped up, and that's unfortunate because what she did do was real sweet, was real nice, and it's unfortunate. Like I was like, man, that's real nice and sweet to her to do that. And I was like, she's probably gonna go viral, which she did, and I know people in the media gonna be pissed off at her, and that's another reason why they're gonna be even more mad because she went viral for not making not following protocol and asking a question. So that was gonna make them even more upset. Look, in life, when you're going to be kind to somebody, it's just sometimes just it's a feeling. It's just something that just comes about. She was trying to be uplifting. She earned the right to be uplifting. There's nothing I felt wrong with it at all. I definitely do feel as if the negative is, those small-minded people who this is what they do. Unfortunately, a lot of people in the media who work in the media are negative. That's what it's clear. And a lot of them, unfortunately, another part of it is a lot of them are doing a job that they really didn't set their heart on doing. Not like what I'm doing. This is what I really love to do, but there's a good portion that are doing something that unfortunately they don't have a passion to be doing and love. They're just doing it to either cash a check or their plan A or B or C didn't pan out. And this is what they're doing. And it's unfortunate because a lot of the people in the media really don't have any like passion or love for the players the way they should, meaning they don't appreciate the hard work that they put into it. They don't appreciate the hours, the sacrifice, and all that stuff that goes into becoming a professional athlete and performing. They're looking at like, man, I should be out doing something else, doing, plan A or B or C. Instead, I'm here interviewing this guy I really don't care less about. And unfortunately, that happens a lot in the media too. You find people who are in there who really don't really want to be in there. And those are the people that I felt were going to really give her a hard time because she went viral. And it's unfortunate, but that's what it is. So to me, Lynn Jones, keep your head up. It's unfortunate you got to deal with all this backlash for being nice, not even being crude. A lot of times people go viral in that room because they ask a crass question and something that you probably wouldn't even ask or shouldn't ask, but they go there and ask it because they don't care about you as a person, your feelings. They'll go there and do it, and they'll go viral. She actually went viral for doing something positive and not, quote, quote, again, following protocol. But I don't see a big deal in it at all. I thought it was real sweet and kind. But I knew that, unfortunately, because I've been in that room several times, that she was going to get ripped up. And unfortunately, she did. And hopefully, it doesn't hurt her long term, after this season and going into next season. I hope, these quote, quote, small minded people don't go ahead and hold that against her, because at the end of the day, she did go viral. You did get a lot of attention. And that's, a lot of times that's what they're looking for. Oh, shout out to my man Mickey Delaney. So yes, props to Lynn Jones. Don't let the haters hate on you. Keep being you and keep moving forward. So yes, the Jags should have kicked that field goal, and that to me was what caused their demise. So yes, and another playoff game, the Chargers again should have kicked their field goal after the interception. Instead, they went for it, got 0 points. They were on the 6 yard line. Herbert and his offensive line really didn't step up the game. But yes, they should have kicked the field goal. Playoff points are at a premium. You should, in most cases, especially if it's a fourth and more than a yard, you really should go ahead and just kick the field goal in most cases because it's early in the game. You're going to have other opportunities and don't leave points on the table, especially when you get a turnover, when you shouldn't have had the ball. Even more so, I feel like you should get something on the points to make them feel, hey, we turn over the points. Now it's a swing of, you know, it's a swing of 10 points. We could have maybe got seven instead of us getting seven. They got three on us. So you have to make them pay with not just run off the time off the clock, but with points. Think about just kicking a field goal. I think guys go for too many short yardage downs nowadays. I think it's cool and exciting, but there's a time and a place for everything. Being over aggressive sometimes hurts you, and I feel like that's what happened with the Chargers as well. Should have went for it, but we were right on the point. I felt as if with the Steelers and the Texans defense was going to be too much. I felt like they were going to force Aaron Rodgers into some bad passing options, and he did it anyway. He threw it, got a couple of picks, and it pretty much went to according to plan. Now, Joey Porter did say something a couple days after the game, and it actually brought up a good point. Most times when somebody hates on somebody, I usually, most cases, disagree. And I still disagree with him bringing this up and kind of hating on Mike Tomlin. But what he did say when I did check into it, did have some validity to it. What he basically said is, in his view, he doesn't feel as if, paraphrasing, he doesn't feel as if Mike Tomlin is a Hall of Fame coach and Mike Tomlin has not developed anybody below him that's maybe superseded and was successful as far as the coaching area. Let me talk about the Hall of Fame part. Yeah, when I checked into it, it is kind of is as long. Let me just say it like this: Mike Tomlin, regardless of whether he gets to the Hall of Fame or not, has had a phenomenal coaching career, extremely successful. For you to be 19 years coaching a team in the NFL, same organization, is phenomenal. Never having a losing season, that's phenomenal too. Having the most wins in Steelers as well too. Steelers history as well. That's all fantastic. I mean, of course, in any time in sports, you always feel like even if you're Michael Jordan, you won six, you're 6-0, perfect. Never been in a game seven. you still feel as if you could always win one more, even if you've been mega successful. Now, in Mike Tomlin's case, he's won one Super Bowl in 19 seasons. Another thing that was, you know, when I looked at just the facts of it, those great stats hopefully will be enough to get him in. But the other side of it is, I know people always look at the bad side or negative side. You say he's hasn't he has a losing record as far as playoff games. And another thing about it is he hasn't won a postseason game in many seasons. I had the number in front of me. I don't have it in front of me right this moment, but he hasn't won a playoff game in a awfully long time. And with one Super Bowl, you know, these things are what they look at. And when I looked at it and kind of did the research, it yes, if somebody wants to look at it in its whole totality, it can be a situation where it can be kind of borderline. It is yeah, the playoff record is true. I'm gonna get that exact stat for you here. Let me pull it up here for you. So, even though I consider it a extremely successful coaching career, and a lot of coaches would take that, even with the just the one Super Bowl, I think if he would have got two, it would have made it a slam dunk. If you'd have stuck around and maybe let's say played another season and got it, I think he would have had a slam dunk. Yeah, so he has as a head coach playoffs, he has 8 wins and 12 losses. His last postseason victory occurring in the 2016 season. Yes, so he has a 7-game playoff losing streak to end his career. Yes, he's got his Steelers to playoffs 13 times in 19 seasons, winning the single Super Bowl in his 2008 season, but struggling to win in the postseason in the later half of his career. So that's the thing that I was like, yeah, it's much I didn't like James Harrison bringing it up. When I did look into it, he did have a point. So I would say it's one of those things that are borderline. Another ring would have been slam dunk, but we'll see if it's enough. Time will tell. Either way, it's a Hall of Fame career to me, and definitely outstanding job. I've nothing but praises for Mike Tomlin. He went out on his own accord. When you got a chance to hear what the owner said, he was actually sounding like he was going to give him another year. He was going to give him another year. But, I guess Mike Tomlin felt like, the heat was on him, the pressure was on him. And if he didn't deliver, he was going to be out regardless. And he didn't want to be kicked out. And I can understand that after being there for 19 seasons. So it was a tough decision. But ultimately, he felt as if it was time. And All right, we're back. We're back. We're back. Sorry about that. I don't know what happened there, but we're back. We're back. Got the sound back. Just something just glitched and we lost sound. Appreciate you. Definitely. Thank you, Mickey Delaney. You're a lifesaver there. We're back. We're back. We're back with the sound there. Yes. Sorry about technical difficulties there. I don't know what happened there, but we're back. We're back. Glad to be back. So, yes, definitely let me give you the rundown of the NFL game this weekend. So, we have some really tough, I mean, it's getting tougher and tougher. This to me was probably the toughest game to pick this weekend. And that is the Bills versus the Broncos. It's going to be a tough game. It's at 4:30 p.m. Bills are playing in Broncos. I just feel as if Bo Nix, I feel as if he's going to be a bit nervous. His first playoff game. Plus, the Broncos have had a lot of rest, but I feel like the Bills are not at the premium level. They hurt a lot. They have a lot of key guys that are hurt. I think Josh Allen hangs in there and gives them the best opportunity to win. But ultimately, I feel like the Broncos are going to hold them off to a close game. Broncos pull it out, close game. So I have the Broncos advancing. 49ers and the Seahawks, going to be another very, very electric, good game. But I feel like Seahawks are very, very good, but I just feel as if the 49ers, after beating the Eagles, riding that high, outstanding coaching, I feel like they have the momentum going on their way and they're able to hold off the Seahawks. So I feel like the 49ers are going to advance and get the job done and beat the Seahawks in a tough place to play. But I feel like they're going to be able to do it. So I have let me just take a look here. We're back. We're back. So I have let me just see here. I have the 49ers winning. And then we have the Texans and the Patriots. Going to be another very good game. That's at 3 o'clock on Sunday. Those two games, the Bills and Broncos and the 49ers Seahawks, are on Saturday. I feel as if the Texans, their defense is just too stifling. And May his magical season ends, I feel like the Texans are going to be able to get the job done with that magnificent defense and win and beat the Patriots. And with the last divisional round game, that's the Bears and the Rams. I have the Rams winning. That game's at 6:30 p.m. Sunday. So it's going to be a great, great matchup. But I have the Rams winning. So, yes, those are going to be, so to recap, let me give you that recap. I have the Broncos winning against the Bills. I have the 49ers beating the Seahawks. I have the Texans beating the Patriots. And I have the Rams beating the Bears. So that wraps up the NFL this weekend. And I'm going to get into some of the things. We're going to switch gears here and talk about the UFL news there. So I'm going to switch gears and talk about that. So this was one of the comments here. Yes, the Orlando Storm changed their date from Friday to Thursday. Thursday is going to be the rally instead of Friday. Originally, it was Friday. That actually works better for me. If it was Friday at the time they had from 5 to 8 on Friday, believe it or not, it would have been tougher for me to make it because I have the show here on Friday at 9:30 p.m. Orlando Storm, even though I'm in Tampa, that's 2 hours away because of traffic. It used to be only a little over an hour and 10, 15 minutes. Now it's 2 hours strong because of traffic. And on the way back from Orlando, I would even say it's 2 hours and like 20 minutes. So it would have been tough for me to make it on Friday, even though it would have been tough. The fact that it's Thursday is actually better for me, but let me just call it the way it is. I have already put in for me to go ahead and cover I'll just say another event. I can't. I told Yusuf, but I can't go out here and publicly just say it just yet. I put in for me to cover another event during that week. For some reason, there's a lot of events that I don't know what it is. The first week in February, this is like the fifth or sixth event that was a possibility for me to cover. I've already committed to covering another event. I haven't heard the answer of that event yet. I'm really surprised by now. I haven't heard. Usually, I'm actually surprised and I'm quite frankly a little disappointed. I haven't heard an answer yes or no as of yet, but that's where I'm at. Once I hear that, then I will be able to kind of configure my schedule that week. That week of the first week in February, you would think that people would try to stay away from that first weekend in February because of the Super Bowl, but no, it seemed like people are scheduling stuff like that first weekend of February. So there is a lot of other competing events that so I'm not really sure if I'm going to be able to make the Orlando Storm Thursday rally. I will say that I will not be able to make the Renegades one, which is the week prior. That one is yeah, I won't be able to make that one for sure. I can I'll definitely let you guys know that one now that I won't be able to make the Renegades rally unless something drastically changes, which I don't anticipate. But the Orlando rally is definitely something that's up in the air. I will let you know once we get a little closer. It is something that is on my radar to attend. The fact that it is on Thursday, for me personally, is a better day than Friday, especially at the time slot that they put in at 5 to 8. Thursday is a better day for me to make it. Again, because at the show on Friday night, it would kind of conflict with that. So I'm actually glad that they moved it. When I first saw the event, I was like, oh, regardless of whether I could make it, I was like, man, I wish you didn't have it on Friday just because of that time. The fact that it is Friday made it tougher. The fact that they moved it actually works to my advantage. So if I can make it, I will definitely let you guys know. I haven't heard back from the other event that I've already committed to. So we will see. We will see. And man, it was a interesting week. So for now, I am going to be covering the Renegades, the Dallas Renegades, as well as the Orlando Storm for the 2026 UFL season. That's what we're doing. And they had put those two press conferences the same time. So I was able to at least hop in on one and ask a question, then hop into the other one. Imagine that conflicting Zoom times. So yeah, those picks are really, really outstanding. I not only am I excited about the picks that the Orlando Storm has gotten, the Renegades have gotten, but even the fact that the DC Defenders picked up Deshaun Watson, somebody was right here in Tampa for the Bucks. See how things change fast. He was here for the Bucks. They kept him on for a long time. They wanted him to lose, to me, my opinion, an unfair amount of weight in a short period of time. He didn't hit the benchmark. They still kept him on the practice squad, but they reluctantly did release him. And now, not even a year later, he's with the UFL. So it just goes to show you how fast things move in the sports world. And the Orlando Storm, they have one quarterback that's up a third spot. A lot of the fans for the Storm have mentioned to me they would like Kyle Trask to go ahead and be the suitor of that last third spot. I think it would be a fantastic spot for them to fill it with Kyle Trask. And I hope he does get it. I think it would be a great fit. I think he will enjoy it. I think it'll be outstanding. And competition builds the best in all of us. I feel as if Jake Plummer is going to be the vet and the guy who's going to potentially start. But I don't know if he'll be the guy that will make it the whole season. I think DTR has a very good shot. And if they do get Kyle Trask, I think he has a very good shot. But it would be great to see who they select as that third pick. If Kyle Trask is available, it'd be awesome for him to be that guy. So I definitely did love a lot of the picks that they did get. Let me kind of give you a rundown of some of them here. Let me pull up this list. But yeah, it was a lot of shaking and baking, a lot of moves. It's amazing how all the people get the opportunity. So let's see here. After day one, they had 214 players were selected across the league on day two. So yeah, there's a lot of great players. I'm definitely looking to see how the cornerbacks do. Lamar Jackson, Allen George, Christian Matthew, how they do. Josh Minkins, the safety. So I'm hoping to see how he does. Jalen Mahoney from Vanderbilt. Michelle Powell, safety as well from Miami. I'm always curious to see how the DBs do back there. And the coach wanted a solid line. So he definitely is happy with his picks. I think they all look solid. It's gonna be a great UFL season. It really is, and I definitely do think I love what Coach New Heisel said that he he said that this is the Dallas Renegades head coach that I got all the picks that I really really wanted. If they don't fit perfectly, we're gonna coach these guys up, and that's what you got to do as a coach. You got to coach them up, and the Spring King is back. He's. It should be interesting to see if. And the nice thing the coach did say too, Coach New Heisel said, is if Luis Perez doesn't make it as the QB or if he wants to be a coach, he has an opportunity. So he put that out there too, and it should be an outstanding UFL season. Do like my man Yusuf Farlex had done. Go ahead and make sure you guys get your season tickets, lock those in, get them. A lot of perks come with them. You know, Yusuf is exactly right. He got an invite to go to the rally. He got an invite because he's a season ticket holder. You guys need to stop wasting time. Go get those season tickets. Go get them. Go get them. And yes, it's going to be a great UFL season. I'm excited about it, but I don't want to rush the process. I want to finish out this NFL season, see how it goes. See who ends up hosting that Lombardi Trophy. I don't want to kind of like rush the process. I love what the games brought this weekend, and I anticipate it's going to be a great playoff atmosphere, and that's what I love about the playoff. I love about playoff football is that it brings out the best in everybody. It brings out the best in everybody. This is your time to shine. This is your time to shine and to show the world your talents. I was talking about AJ Brown earlier. He had an opportunity to show people he should be getting the ball more often and the reason why he's getting what he's getting. But my man just decided to just drop balls. So make it what you can do. Or I'll say to all the draft picks, go ahead and be the best version of yourself. Go ahead and take advantage of the opportunity. Give it 110%. Don't get in your feelings. Fight and claw for everything and continue to keep fighting. Don't be the reason why your team loses the entire season. Don't be the reason why the team loses the entire season. Just like AJ Brown. Don't be the reason why you sank your ship a la Titanic style. One bad apple could spoil a bunch. That was my takeaway from that weekend. And one bad play, one bad decision can spoil it. So, yes, be the best version of yourself. Go out there and ball out. And in fact, we're going to talk about that. I'm going to give you in life, be the best version of yourself. Take advantage of opportunities. If you had one shot or one opportunity to seize everything you ever wanted in one moment, would you capture it or just let it slip? Eminem, lose control. You know, there it is. Got to take advantage of it. And don't be the reason why your team loses the season. A la A.J. Brown. Go ahead and catch the ball. Catch the ball. Regardless of what happened before, when you get the ball thrown to you, you got to catch the ball. And now I'm going to switch gears and talk a little bit about the NBA and let you guys see something too. Yes, the Lakers, quite frankly, they don't play enough defense. If they want to have a shot to win, you got to do better. You got to do better. Yes, that's right. Appreciate you. Yes, that's my guy, man. Yusuf, go get your season tickets for the UFL because they need your support. You know what? I got to give them credit. I'm gonna get to back to the NBA in just a moment. I got to give the UFL credit. That was a very elaborate process to go through the draft of 1 and 2 days. Guys were getting selected, a lot of picks, a lot of opportunities, a lot of like revolving kind of like doors, so to speak. It was a lot. It was a lot. And in fact, we was able to speak to the head coaches only on after day one, not after day two. And I kind of glad about that in a way because I know that they were working hard. The coaches, the entire coaching staff in general, just to coordinate that draft. So yeah, props to the UFL. Get your support the team. You know, nobody's promised another season. Go out there and get those tickets. If I could cover two teams in UFL, you guys can go ahead and get those season tickets. So yes. So yes, the Lakers, you know, they definitely need to go ahead and play some defense. LeBron, not just LeBron, Luca, they need to play better defense because yeah, they might have some games where they have some great offense, but it's not gonna amount to much come postseason if you don't start playing some defense. And as far as the patch is concerned, the 23 seasons, that is in a nutshell what I expect from LeBron. Yes, it's nice that you made it to 23 seasons, but this is the modern day athlete, monetizing on everything. And Tops, they're part of that too. It was a deal with Tops, so it's really about money. The league gets a cut of it, Tops get a cut of it, LeBron gets a cut of it. So ultimately, it's about money as far as a 23 season patch. Look, to all the people who are big time LeBron fans, I'm just gonna let you know, like I said it before, and I'll say it again. To me, it's clear coat, it's clear as day. My GOAT is Michael Jordan, number one, Kobe Bryant, number two, and LeBron James right now is three. But if we keep going the way we are, which is what I'm seeing, it's going to go from 3 to 4 to 5. That's where I think it's going to go. But right now, it's at 3. That's where the Lakers are at. Kobe, who is ironically a Laker too, lifetime and whole time Laker great, is a Laker as well. And I have him number 2. And if things keep going with no defense and I keep seeing the same type of play, it's going to go from out of third to Kareem or somebody else. But right now, I have Kobe. I have Michael Jordan number 1, Kobe number 2, LeBron number 3. To me, it's not about stats. It's about what are you doing in the postseason and the finals. What are you doing then? That's what matters to me the most. Can you deliver when the pressure's on and the team really needs you at its highest form? That's the reason why I love playoff football. That's the reason why I love playoff basketball. I love playoff baseball because you kind of get all of the gyrations. They're just, let's let this guy score and all that junk. You kind of let that go to the wayside. Now it's crunch time. Every possession, every play, every pitch, every score, non score, every free throw, everything gets magnified. Everything gets magnified. People watching. Can you deliver when all these people watching? And if you are delivering constantly, you have a good chance of being the GOAT. So, and we know MJ is 6-0. No game 7. So, yes, we're going to end on that note there. I definitely want to thank a few people. I want to thank all the people who have chimed in today on Instagram as well as here. Yusuf, Farlex, man, that's my guy. Mickey Delaney. Definitely appreciate Oliver as well. And One Heart for God. There you go. John Haramiza and Miss Clark. There you go. Appreciate you all. And if I miss anybody, I apologize. I definitely want to thank, too, my good guy and good friend, none other than Sam Scola Songs. That's right. Sam Scola Songs. Want to thank Sam Scola Songs. All of his songs are available on YouTube and Spotify. Want to thank his beautiful wife, Mary, and want to thank my man himself, Sam Scola Songs. All of these songs are available on YouTube and Spotify. And there's his email, singalongwithsam@gmail.com. Singalongwithsam@gmail.com. Now, that is for deals only. No spam, please. If you have an opportunity or deal for Sam Scola Songs, please reach out. Otherwise, no spam, please. Singalongwithsam@gmail.com. Really appreciate Sam Scola Songs for presenting us with all the songs and music. And definitely appreciate you guys. You guys are fantastic. Tomorrow, I will be with Mickey Delaney as well on Rudy Reyes' show as the co host. Let's Talk Sports. Tomorrow is the official inaugural Let's Talk Sports show. I will be the co host. Rudy Reyes is going to be inside Diamonds Casino. It'll be 11 Pacific time, 11 a.m. Pacific time, 2 o'clock Eastern Standard Time Zone. It'll be broadcast on Fox Sports Radio. Definitely appreciate you guys presenting us with that opportunity. Appreciate you guys for all your support. So tomorrow I'll be on the air, 2 p.m. Eastern Time, 11 a.m. Pacific Time. You'll be catching me on live as well, right here and on Fox Sports Radio. So check that out as well. And after then, I'll be back next Friday. So look forward to that. I will keep you posted on these events. Definitely, if I'm going to make the rally, the fact that it's, again, Thursday is better for me. But I will let you know. The main thing is if I'm going to be traveling that week or not. So we will find out, hopefully sooner than later. I'm surprised I haven't heard anything yet. Kind of disappointed if you ask me. But I'll reveal that once that those wheels kind of get into motion. Until then, you guys have a fantastic weekend. Fantastic weekend. Take care of yourself. I want to definitely say happy birthday to my beautiful daughter, Diana. Her birthday was actually on Monday, but this is the time I get a chance to say it on the air. We actually are going after the show, a couple of hours after the show. We're going out to a nice restaurant, take her out. So happy birthday, Diana. Appreciate you. So you guys, I appreciate you guys too. You have a fantastic weekend. Be blessed, be well, take care of yourself, and be the best version of yourself at all times. Don't be the reason you kill your team's season or the family member that kills the whole family. Meaning, not literally, but just brings the whole mood down. Take care, be blessed, be well, and I will see you tomorrow and next Friday. Take care for now. I'll see you guys soon. God bless you.
It's the end of the show.